Picture this. A courtroom buzzing with tension, an old judge with a smirk on his face, and a young black man standing tall, ready to face whatever comes his way. You won't believe what happens next in this wild tale of justice, prejudice, and unexpected twists. Buckle up, folks. This courtroom drama is about to get real. Our story begins on a sweltering summer day in the heart of a small southern town. The courthouse, a weathered brick building with columns that have seen better days, looms over the town square. Inside, the air is thick with anticipation as the latest case is called to order. Enter our protagonist, Jamal Thompson, a 25-year-old black man dressed in a crisp white shirt and dark slacks. He stands before the bench, his posture straight and his gaze unwavering. Across from him, perched high on his seat of power, sits Judge Harold Whitmore, a man whose wrinkles tell tales of decades spent wielding the gavel. As Jamal approaches the stand, Judge Whitmore's eyes narrow, a hint of disdain flickering across his weathered features. The courtroom falls silent, all eyes fixed on this unlikely pair. "Well, well," Judge Whitmore drawls, his southern accent thick as molasses. "What do we have here? Another troublemaker, I presume?" Jamal, unfazed by the judge's tone, responds calmly, "No, Your Honor, I'm here to defend myself against false accusations." The judge leans forward, a mischievous glint in his eye. "Is that so? Well, let's have some fun, shall we? I've got a little challenge for you, boy." The tension in the courtroom ratchets up a notch. The spectators shift in their seats, unsure of what's about to unfold. Judge Whitmore clears his throat and announces, "Here's the deal. I'm going to say something in Latin, and if you can translate it correctly, I'll dismiss your case right here and now. Hell, I'll even throw in my salary for good measure. What do you say?" A collective gasp ripples through the courtroom. The prosecutor's jaw drops, and even the bailiff can't hide his surprise. Jamal, however, remains composed, a slight smile playing at the corners of his mouth. "I accept your challenge, Your Honor," Jamal replies, his voice steady and confident. The old judge's eyebrows shoot up, clearly not expecting this response. He clears his throat again, this time with a hint of nervousness. "Very well, then. Here's your phrase. Quid Latine dictum sit, altum videtur." The courtroom holds its breath as Jamal takes a moment to consider the words. The judge leans back, a smug smile spreading across his face, certain he's stumped the young man before him. But then Jamal speaks. "Your Honor, the phrase you've given me translates to, 'Whatever is said in Latin sounds profound.'" The smile vanishes from Judge Whitmore's face, replaced by a look of utter shock. The courtroom erupts in murmurs and gasps. The bailiff's eyes widen and the prosecutor drops his pen, mouth agape. Judge Whitmore sputters, But how? How could you possibly know that?" Jamal stands tall, his voice clear and strong, as he addresses not just the judge, but the entire courtroom. "Your Honor, I graduated summa cum laude from Harvard with a degree in classics. I speak 5 languages fluently, including Latin. I'm currently pursuing my law degree while working as a translator for the United Nations." The silence that follows is deafening. Judge Whitmore's face cycles through a range of emotions: shock, embarrassment, and finally a grudging respect. "Well, I'll be damned," the judge mutters, shaking his head in disbelief. "It seems I've made quite the fool of myself today." Jamal, ever gracious, responds, "Your Honor, we all make assumptions. The important thing is recognizing when we're wrong and being willing to learn from our mistakes." The judge nods slowly, a newfound humility evident in his demeanor. "You're right, son, and a deal's a deal. Case dismissed." He pauses, then adds with a wry smile, "As for my salary, well, I suppose I'd better start looking for a new job." The courtroom erupts in applause, with several spectators rising to their feet. The prosecutor, still in shock, simply shakes his head in amazement. Even the bailiff can't help but crack a smile. As Jamal turns to leave, Judge Whitmore calls out, Mr. Thompson, a moment, please. Jamal pauses, turning back to face the bench. I owe you an apology, the judge says, his voice heavy with sincerity. I let my prejudices cloud my judgment, and that's unacceptable for someone in my position. You've taught me a valuable lesson today, and I thank you for it. Jamal nods, accepting the apology with grace. Thank you, Your Honor. I hope this experience will lead to positive changes in our justice system. As Jamal exits the courtroom, head held high, the spectators buzz with excitement. They've just witnessed something extraordinary, a moment where intelligence and dignity triumphed over prejudice and assumption. Outside, reporters clamor for a statement, their cameras flashing in the bright sunlight. Jamal pauses on the courthouse steps, taking a deep breath before addressing the crowd. What happened in that courtroom today is just one small step, he begins, his voice carrying across the square. But it's a step in the right direction. It shows that change is possible, that we can challenge stereotypes and overcome bias. It's not about winning or losing. It's about creating understanding and fostering respect for one another, regardless of our backgrounds. The crowd hangs on his every word, nodding in agreement. Even those who had come to gawk at the proceedings find themselves moved by Jamal's eloquence and poise. As the day draws to a close, the small southern town finds itself at the center of a national conversation. News of the courtroom showdown spreads like wildfire, igniting debates about racial profiling, judicial conduct, and the power of education. Judge Whitmore, true to his word, steps down from the bench. But rather than retire in shame, he dedicates himself to working with community organizations, using his experience as a cautionary tale and advocating for diversity in the legal system. Jamal, meanwhile, becomes an overnight sensation. Job offers pour in from top law firms across the country, but he chooses a different path. He establishes a foundation dedicated to providing educational opportunities for underprivileged youth, focusing on languages and cultural exchange programs. The courtroom where it all happened becomes something of a local legend. Tour guides pointed out to visitors, recounting the tale of the day an old judge's prejudice was shattered by a young man's brilliance. As for the Latin phrase that started it all, it becomes a running joke in legal circles, with judges and lawyers alike using it to lighten tense moments in court. In the end, what began as a moment of mockery transformed into a powerful lesson about the dangers of prejudice and the importance of keeping an open mind. It serves as a reminder that sometimes the most profound changes can come from the most unexpected places, even a small-town courtroom on a sweltering summer day. So the next time you find yourself making assumptions about someone based on their appearance or background, remember the tale of Jamal Thompson and Judge Whitmore. You never know. The person you're underestimating might just be the one to teach you the most valuable lesson of all.